presented by The View Apartments and Townhomes. The View, college life off campus. Now, back to the arena.
All right, folks, welcome back into the Vine Center as the Lady Flames got the victory over the Winthrop Eagles by a final score of 80-51. And we've now got Ola Makarat with us. And Ola, I know we talked during the preseason before the year started, and there was a bit of nervousness. I think you're still kind of getting comfortable with the language and with having to do things like this as far as talking to the media. But before we start talking about tonight's game, has your comfort level changed? That was probably about 2 or 3 months ago. As far as you getting more and more comfortable with the American culture and what's going on here?
Yes, it's so much better now.
Getting better?
Yeah.
Now, I do say, then we'll say this too before we get into the nuts and bolts of this game. Facebook is a wonderful tool, and matter of fact, we're on Facebook Live right now, so you may have family and friends that are watching back home. But when we do post photos or different things on Facebook, it seems like your family and your friends are the number one. Everybody's liking, everyone's clicking, everyone's making comments. It seems like you've got a lot of support from back home. Is that comforting to know that even though they're not here, they're with you, in social media?
Yes, they are the biggest support, and they give me energy to the hard work, and I think they are my motivation, and I'm playing for them.
Do you have family, siblings that also play?
I have 2 sisters.
Do they both play basketball as well?
Yes, both play basketball.
Now, how many times did you guys have competition with each other, and were you guys always toughest on each other, like as far as when you were playing in the backyard or playing at home?
At home, I was with my sister in the same school, so she was my roomie over 2 years.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, we played in the same team. Also, we play in the national team together. We played in the last year.
So did you guys learn a lot from each other?
Yeah, my mom is a coach, so when I'm at home, we are practice together.
Oh, well, that's really a pretty good situation there. You've not only got a coach in your house, but you've got a couple other players that you can kind of test things with and practice with. That's really pretty good. As far as this game tonight, you guys knew coming in that Winthrop was pretty beat up as far as they didn't have all of their players available. Their coach wasn't here as well, so they've been struggling a little bit. But at the same time, they came out and played pretty good in the first half. It was a close game. What did it take for your team to be able to get a big lead and take advantage in the game?
Coach Green said in the locker room that we should be focused on the little things, let it work, and do our job. So I think we were focused on the rebounding, on defense. So yeah, that's it.
Now, growing up and playing in overseas for us, at home for you, was there as much of an emphasis on rebounding? Because I know Coach Green, that's probably the first thing he talks about every practice, every day. Yes. Rebounding's number one on the list.
Today we had a practice also.
Oh, is that right? This morning?
Yeah, before the game, yeah.
Wow, so you guys practiced this morning.
Yeah, rebounding also with the guys.
So that's exactly, he always, I think his joke is if you answer either rebounding or Jesus, you're going to get half credit either way, because those are the two things he focuses on the most.
I think he told me today that Jesus is with us because I started
because you started rebounding. That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, It was a very efficient game for you. And, I know everything's not about stats. Wins and losses are much more important. Getting the victory is what you're looking for. But when you look at your stat sheet and you see that you finish up 7 of 11, that's a great percentage. But you only played 19 minutes in the game. So
in the halftime, Coach Gerard told me that I should be more aggressive and trying to take advantage of drive to the basket more than shooting for free. So I was trying to be more aggressive.
Get to the hoop. It seemed like that's exactly what happened in the third quarter. And when you started scoring and your teammates were as well, and you guys opened up that big lead and never looked back. Well, it was a very pleasant conversation. It was nice to see you again, and congratulations on a great game for yourself and for the team today.
Thank you so much.
That was Ola Makarat here on the Coca-Cola post-game show. We're going to get Coach Green in here in just a moment, and he's pointing out the 7 rebounds that Ola finished up in the game. I think he's probably most proud of her for that, as she led the Flames in that category along with Kian, who also had 7 boards as well. Coach, we talked in the pregame about Winthrop being kind of down on their luck a little bit right now, without some players, without some coaches as well. It's always tough when you're going through that kind of adversity. But they certainly didn't show it in the first half of this game. It was a battle till halftime, and then your team was able to pull away at the beginning of the third quarter and kind of take control after that. What was the swing? What made the difference?
Well, I think they continued to give good effort for the entire game, but the third quarter, we started off with good energy on the defensive end and got some runouts and some quick, easy scores. And, from a strategy perspective, the truth is we were trying to zone trap in the first 2 quarters and then trap actually twice if we could. They broke that press and got some easy looks and got us in a scramble mode where we had to recover. And when they got those shots from there, they got second shots, and they had out-rebounded us by 5 at halftime. So they were getting better shots, easier shots, and second shots. Those are not good combinations. I think that they had, I can't remember how many offensive rebounds. So in the second half or the third quarter, we didn't run the zone trap. We just went sort of a solid, straight-up, traditional man-to-man at the 3 level or 3-quarter court, and that helped us sort of settle into just some simple fundamentals and understand that, and easier to match up, and they didn't have the easy looks, and it was easier for us to figure out who to block out as well too. So some simple adjustments on the defensive end, and I think we generate some offense from that.
As we're looking across at the court here, there's a bunch of kids, but I don't know what the age group is, but there's some that look really like probably 6, 8 years old, probably up into the maybe almost teens, and maybe not quite teens. But tell us a little bit about what's going on. You guys do this a few times a year.
Yeah, if we have an opportunity, and this is based on Big South scheduling for both men and women and other things that are going on our campus. If we have a chance to have a 2 o'clock ball game, that would give us an opportunity for recruits that may have to drive 3 or 4 hours to come in to watch a game, and they get back at a reasonable hour. But it also gives us an opportunity for a lot of our fans and the younger ones who have been coming, and the parents bringing these young fans are coming, and just a chance where they're sitting in the stands and watching the games and really cheering for a Lady Flame and not having a personal relationship. And this is a chance for us to give a free clinic and basically say thank you and meet our fans. And we've got posters and autographs we'll give to them at the end of the game, and it's just a good opportunity for us to say thank you and give back to our supporting community.
You got a game on Tuesday at Campbell, right back on the road, and Campbell's really shown themselves to be one of the top teams in the conference. Coach Fisher, who made the transition moving from coaching at PC to now coaching in Buies Creek, has done a pretty good job getting them, especially on the defensive end. That's his specialty for sure, and always tough to play his old PC teams. Now it's going to be tough to play his Campbell team.
Yeah, he's done a great job in a very short period of time. He's a great coach, and he has, again, done a surprising job in such a short period of time. Got those players believing, and they're right there at the top of the conference right now with one loss, unless something's happened today that I'm unaware of, but they're at the top. And we've got got big challenges to go in there to win on the road, and win on the road is always tough. We've already learned that, and it's going to be a big game for us, and I'm sure it's a big game for them as well. But if we're going to contend for the regular season championship, we've got to steal a couple games on the road and secure home, and that's a big one right there.
Well, Coach, we wish you the best. We'll see you down there in Bowie's Creek on Tuesday.
All right. Thank you.
Head coach Kerry Green here as the Flames get the victory 80-51 over the Winthrop Eagles. Liberty now on the season 6-13, but 5-3 in the Big South Conference. The Eagles fall to 2-18 and 1-7 in conference play. Well, that's going to do it for us here in the Vine Center. We'll throw it back to the studio and take a listen in with Kyle for the play of the game, as well as a look at the Southern Air out-of-town scoreboard. I'm going to go ahead and cheat and steal a little bit of it away from Kyle's thunder, because I do want to say that the Liberty men won at Campbell today, and he'll give us some more details about how that game ended up. But the men are also in pretty good shape as far as the conference is concerned, and they're a game out of first place at the top of the standings, as the women are trying to work their way back into a similar spot. On the men's side, it's the number one seed that gets to host. On the women's side, it's a predetermined site, and that site happens to be right here in the Vine Center. So the Lady Flames will be playing the Big South Tournament on their home court, regardless of what happens as far as the regular season standings are concerned, and they certainly want to get as high a seed as possible, if not be that number one seed. The other good thing about, if you can finish in the top two in the conference, then you give yourself a chance of, even if you don't go to the NCAA tournament, that you could get the WNIT as kind of a consolation prize. But that's certainly not the goal for any team in the conference right now. The goal is winning the tournament and going to the NCAAs, and the Flames would love to be able to get back on track and get their 17th opportunity to represent the Big South Conference. That'll be coming up a little bit later on in March. There's a lot of basketball between now and then to determine where everybody sits standings-wise, and we'll be there along the way with you. So if you want to tune in here on 90.9 The Light or online, as many of our friends have kind of came and gone, watching a little bit of the post-game show on Facebook Live, we certainly appreciate that. But right now, we'll take a break and throw it back to the studio, where Kyle will wrap things down here on the Coca-Cola post-game report. Liberty with the victory over Winthrop, 80-51. Until Tuesday night, this is Jamie Hall saying so long and God bless.
Kim Wright, right wing three. Boom! And John Dawson wins it for Liberty.
Flames Nation, don't miss a great deal on Liberty